Today I'm here to show you how to draw a hummingbird. This is actually the first step out that I did in the Fun and Easy landscape tutorials, and it's a pretty simple one. I've got probably over 100 step outs that I did before I started doing videos, so I decided that instead of creating a new one every day, I would go back and do some of these on video for you, because I know it's easier for a lot of you to understand what's going on if you see it that way. So today, because it's nice and bold, I'm using the Zebra Pens permanent marker PM701, and I'll get in and use the Sensations technical drawing pen. This is the 0.1 nib, and I'm going to use it for some little tiny details. I'm using the Hahnemühle hand lettering pad. This teardrop shape is something that I use a lot for the step outs, and it really is a shape that you should practice and learn how to create, whether you go starting from the right and going to the left, or going from the left to the right. It doesn't really matter. It will probably differ according to whether you're left-handed like me or right-handed. Don't worry if you miss something like that. Just get in the ballpark, because animals are all different. I'm going to deliberately make some misses and so forth, and kind of show you how you can work that into your hummingbird. So, your basic hummingbird with the teardrop shape, and then you have wings that are branching out there, and just make some waves here. I think you'll probably have better luck if you start up here at the tip and go towards the body, rather than going from the body and moving up trying to catch that tip. That's a smaller area for you to aim at. And as always, when you're doing something like this, look at where you're going. So when you're doing the wing, you say you're up here, you've got your body down here. This is where you want the wing to end. That's where your eyes should be looking. And you can do these here swoops without really looking. Keep your eye there, and your hand will know where it's going. There's a hand-eye coordination thing here, and if you look where you're at, it's really easy to go off into the landscape. So give your brain something to aim at and look where you're going. Alright, so we've got the teardrop, we've got these wings, and throw a couple eyes in there, and then you got your nose. Your tail is very similar to the wings. You may find it easier when you're doing the tail to do both sides like this and then go over. And that's one of the things I'm showing you. In fact, I'm really not showing you the way I do it. I'm trying to show you the way that I think will be the easiest for you to follow what I'm doing. Because it's kind of hard sometimes if you just do it. People see it, but they really aren't understanding what's going on. So anyway, so you've got your basic hummingbird here. At this point, you could go on like this forever, but there's all sorts of variations that you can do. Got your basic teardrop. You could have his nose pointing up this way. Put his eyes up here. Have your wings going like this. Get fancy with this tail. Add some detail to these wings. Add some coloration in here. I'm doing this fairly quickly because I don't want to take a whole lot of time at it. But I think you get the idea. There's a lot of different variations. Okay, now for Mrs. You're going along and oh, oops, she didn't quite close the teardrop. Or maybe you just kept going a little bit too far with the teardrop. So let's start with this guy. We'll go with kind of the basic bird. And give him a little deal here. But then when we get to the tail, what we're going to do is just go like this. Because birds twist around, and in fact that gives him a little bit more character. So see, that was easy enough to just adapt that into it. And this time I'll get a little fancier with him. See, same thing with that beak. You notice I kind of missed there, and I just caught there. Just go ahead and make it a little bit thicker or a little bit darker. That time I gave it a little bit of shading. Not too worried about my lines being really absolutely correct. Usually you're the only one who notices if they're too jagged or too ugly. We'll just give him one eye this time. And we'll make our wings here going this way. And again, I just incorporated it. So if you don't get the teardrop or any portion of the bird exactly the way that you like, just kind of stop and look at what you have. Sometimes these are the ones that come out the best because they're different and there's a lot more life to them. Let's say if you do something like that. Okay, that one's pretty easy to adapt to. I'm going to actually bring the beak up here. And mainly I'm doing his wings this way because I don't want to run into this bird. And don't worry, say your wings don't quite match. Again, you know, birds swoop, and when you get perspective, sometimes it will look like one is shorter than the other because of the distance and the way, the angle that you're looking at. So don't sweat it. You get some kind of odd lines, go with it. Just, you know, look at this as fun. You notice how fast I'm moving, and hopefully I'm not going off of the page again. You know, if you squinch and just really, you know, press down on the pen and really try and concentrate, you're actually much more likely to get something that looks stilted. And, you know, if you give yourself some freedom, that way what comes natural to you will come to the fore instead of you overthinking it. And yeah, you know, you may do some that you really don't like quite as much, but if you do it in the spirit of fun, you'll have fun anyway, and you will actually learn more about how your mind relates to putting things on paper. Everybody has that word, that style that people tend to want to search for, and that's, to me, that's the wrong way to go around it. Don't search for your style. recognize your style, because it's there. It will find you. But if you're not looking for it, you're likely to miss it. You're thinking, oh, I want to draw like this person. I want mine to look like what that person is doing. That's the style I want. And unfortunately, very few of us can do a style that way, and as often as not, people get mad at you because you stole their style. You want to develop your own. So have fun and let your style just come on out. And I promised some little details here. Let's go back to this fancy guy. Now I'm using a really small tip, and this allows me to do some really quick little shading. And it's really kind of surprising how much that can add to your work. Let's see, let's give him some feathers here. Not going to get really detailed with that, but just a little bit of suggestion of feathers. Okay. And give him some real feathery little tail feathers here. Let's give the suggestion of some more feathers here. And you see a lot of birds have something around the eye, and a lot of times they'll have something here around the beak. You can really give him a funky look here. Okay, I think that's enough to give you the idea.